Welcome to One More Thing. I'm Jason Marlin. I'm here with Travis Kirkman. I'm also here with Ethan Bray. This is our podcast presented to you by First Baptist Kirksville. We're so excited that you've joined us today. So guess what this month is, guys?
October.
It is October. What is in the month of October?
Pastor Appreciation.
You got it.
All
Yes.
right.
I thought you were going to say Halloween. But
I was going straight for it.
yeah, it is Pastor Appreciation Month. And I'll just, before I even get into kind of the things that we want to talk about, I just want to brag on our church for a minute, man. They have always just gone all out, take awesome care, just love on us. And I'm so appreciative of that.
Trips to Hawaii, cars.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, our church is top notch. So it really is good. So for all of you in our church watching, we really do just say thanks, man. I've been a part of a lot of the churches, and definitely this is top notch.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
One of the best there. But I wanted to talk about kind of how we approach pastor appreciation and some thoughts about that. Like, first of all, like what are some favorite pastors that you either have had or maybe not necessarily personally, but like just favorite pastors that you like to interact with or listen to or that sort of thing? Do you have a list or anything?
I believe the greatest, Adrian Rogers.
Yeah, I agree with that. I listen to Adrian a lot.
So I love to listen to him still. But personally, I've had a couple pastors early on in my walk that were just, pivotal in like who I am today as a pastor, of men that I can look up to. First one being Brian Jump. You know Brian Jump. Awesome. He's in Joplin now, and before, when he was at Clever First Baptist, he was just really instrumental in like building me up into who I am today. And then when I first surrendered to ministry, Dustin Lair in Fairgrove, where we're from, just these men have been just really awesome. Mm-hmm. And a big thing, a takeaway that I get from them is like, it wasn't like, hey, you were, part of my church and now you're gone and I'm never going to talk to you again. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll still get calls and texts, from these guys. And so it's really encouraging. And so I try to, emulate that in my own ministry.
Yeah, that's good. I had an uncle. My uncle was a pastor as well. And he was kind of in the North Mississippi area as well while I was there. And he was just really good to me, just pouring in. He was really good at like, he wrote all of his sermons out, and I can remember, man, he would just give me all of his stuff like in 3-ring binder notebooks, and just being able to read through those and kind of see how he develops an idea, how he kind of looks at illustrations, and just kind of see how he alliterates, kind of like Adrian and all that kind of stuff. So it was just, especially in my early years of pastoral ministry or whatever, it was just kind of formative to me on how to preach, really. Mm-hmm. And so I really appreciate him. And then kind of more distant is I just listening. I love listening to podcasts. Again, you mentioned Adrian. I love Alistair Begg. I listen to him a good bit as well. And then it's just, just a vast array of guys that I don't necessarily know, but they just teach me the Word of God, and I'm grateful for technology today. And of course, if you want to go way back, I'm a Spurgeon guy. I love Charles Spurgeon. I like to read all his messages as well. Whatever I'm preaching on, I usually read a message or two on whatever topic I'm preaching on, just to get his little insights, maybe a little funny phrase that he might say or something. I'll pull and add it to mine. But those really are the guys that have helped me.
Yeah, for me, I grew up with a dad as a pastor, and so I really learned a lot from him. Like, I still remember being called to ministry, and he looked me dead in the face and said, well, you're going to preach a sermon before you go back to school. I'm like, I haven't had one class yet. But he just sat with me. He kind of like your uncle, like, walked me. This is how you break down the text. This is what to look for. This is how you teach it in a way that's understandable. And so he's been really influential in my life. Another guy's I have two grandfathers, so my dad's dad and then his dad, so my great-grandpa, just faithful men of the Lord. Just the way that they just had passion when they preached. It was something that I always wanted to preach like them. Like my great grandpa was like a pulpit smacker, you know, like he broke his hand one time. He hit it so hard. Like, I mean, the guy was great, you know, but you know, those are guys I look up to, guys that I don't know, but just love to listen to and learned a lot from. Guys like John Piper. Like I've never seen a guy like, he doesn't cry necessarily, but like but he cares so much about what he's preaching because he truly believes it. And it's like, I want to have a heart for the Lord like that. So I really like him. H.B. Charles, we got to listen to.
I love him.
Just his passion. But when I had just got called to the ministry, and not just called, but I had gone to school, my first like real pastor job. He had a book, How to Be a Pastor, and he wrote it when he was a young pastor. And just like all the little things like he would do just really helped me like prep events. Is
that the name of it, How to Be a Pastor? Because I know
something like
I've
that.
read like on preaching and on pastoring. You know?
I think it's on pastoring, but it was super helpful. And then the last guy, I guess, really is my pastor at my last church. Pastor Andre, what I got from him a lot is, how do you love your people? Like he was the best at hospital visits and all those like little things that they don't teach you at school. And so just learning how to love your people is something I learned from him.
Well, that kind of goes into kind of what I wanted to discuss next or whatever is like, what are some qualities then? Like if you could create the perfect pastor, if you will. I mean, like what are qualities of a pastor that people should be looking for?
So I have, I'll answer that and also tie in this hilarious story that I have about H.B. Charles.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of y'all know we went to the conference, right, for the church conference, and H.B. Charles was one of the speakers there. And this was like earlier in the morning before he was getting ready to speak. I actually went to the bathroom. And I saw him in the bathroom. I was like,
this is already a good story.
Oh, man.
Did y'all lock eyes?
No.
Did you have at least one?
I was like, well, in my head, I'm like, dude, this is H.B. Charles in the bathroom right here. And I was like,
he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything, right? 'Cause we're in the bathroom, right? I'm not going to say, right?
Did you sign my arm?
But there was a younger guy that came out of the stall and saw H.B. Charles, and he like kind of like grinned a little bit. He's like, and I was like, this guy's going to say something. And he did, man. Sure enough. He was like, hey, are you H.B. Charles? And he's like doing his business, right? Yeah. And he's just like, yes, I am. And by that time, I had walked out. But I thought it was just kind of really cool. Like, you know, he could have been like, dude, I'm trying to go to the bathroom, man.
Yeah.
Like, talk to me afterwards, right? I think a good pastor...
no matter the situation.
No matter the situation, right, is not going to make you feel stupid for a question that you have. I think a good pastor is going to support you in, hey, you're questioning, or you're, hey, I read this in the Bible the other day. I really don't, understand. Does it mean this? And it could mean something. They may think it means something totally different than what it's supposed to say. But I think a good pastor doesn't make them feel stupid.
Sure. That's great. That's good. Well, I think what you mentioned was great. Just loving people.
Yeah, and I mean, you could go through the whole list in Titus, right? I mean, hospitable, loving, self-controlled, sensible, right? But one thing in H.B. Charles, he said this 2 weekends ago was, a pastor like who preaches and like leads from an overflow of what's already happening in their own heart, like. It's not something ministry is not something they're adding on. It's just something that naturally flows out because of their relationship, because of their walk. So I think someone who's walking faithfully with the Lord personally, that preaches the word faithfully, doesn't turn from what the truth says. But then, like you said, just they love their people. Yeah. They live life with their people. Yeah.
Again, faithfulness, obviously, I think, that would, if you're looking for a church and you're trying to find, a pastor to be able to learn under, faithfulness to the word better be there. It definitely better be there. And then also just be real.
Yes.
I think that's the thing for me is just be real. I can't stand when pastors are different when they're preaching than they are when they're just talking, like the pastor's voice, people even make fun of that. Like, oh, you're using their pastor's voice or whatever. Like, just use your voice. Or dress a certain way one day. I mean, just be who you are. I think people I think people see that for one thing. They can like, if you're
Faking it.
yeah, if you're faking it, yeah. So just be real. I think that's probably one of the best qualities that I've tried to learn and try to just be, is just try to listen. What you see is what you get in all of its glory and in all of its faults.
Yeah, and like, I mean, he says right there in verse 7, for the overseer must be above reproach as God's steward. Like, people should look at you and know where you stand.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
And the fact is, I think one of the best compliments I even just got this week from somebody was like, "You're just a regular dude." That's what kind of somebody said. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I mean, yes, I'm called. Yes, I'm a leader. And I teach the word, but I'm also just a man.
Yeah.
Who has the same struggles, who has the same faults, who has, we all are just regular people, for one thing.
Yeah.
And I think we need to act like that. Well, what about something that you need to work on? Can you think of something, like we just kind of listed a bunch of things, and maybe none of those that we listed are something that you need to work on, but can you think of some things like, man, I'm striving, but here's some areas that I could do
Listen,
better.
I got lots of things to work on, but why don't you guys go first?
Yeah, well, I'll go first. I don't mind. Like for me, when we say love our people, I do love our people, but for me, I am an introvert. I kind of like to be in the back. Even if I'll sit in the sanctuary, I would be a back row Baptist. I would sit back there. So just kind of being more into people's lives, I guess. And again, some people don't want you there, but just the visiting, the calling, I'm terrible at writing letters, as in I don't do it. But those are the kind of things that I do poorly. Yeah. And I'm just not really good at that or gifted at that either. So that's something I could definitely got to.
And I relate to that too. I think an area where I can grow is definitely like putting myself in people's lives a little bit more. Even if that's just a text or a phone call, or maybe sending a letter, a note, or something. Just to let people know. I think a lot of times we get into like a really solid groove. Everything's going really well. And we kind of lack in communicating how much you appreciate people that are serving on a team or, people in the church. And so I think I could grow in that for sure.
Yeah, I think mine, it's similar. I'm an introvert. And I have a terrible memory, like just knowing people's names. Like I could do so much better in that department.
Hopefully we married well.
That we did, dude. My wife, fun story really quick. Like my first youth group, we had like 20 plus kids there, and they were like, "All right, Ethan, at the end of the night, you're gonna see the names." So they all lined up, and I think I got like 4 right out of the 20, whatever. And my wife literally went bang, 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 and got every single one of them right. And so now I'm always like, I'm going somewhere.
So everybody listening to us on the podcast right now, if we see you in Walmart or Hy-Vee or whatever, and our wives aren't with us, come up and say, "Hey, Jason, good to see you. I'm Bobby."
That's right.
Go ahead.
Or if I ever call you Guy, that means I don't know your name.
Don't give them your
secrets.
secrets.
Guy.
Hey, Guy.
What's up, man?
What up?
So, yeah, that's definitely true. Well, again, this is Pastor Appreciation Month. Let me just say, I want to say some words about you guys. Like, I love our staff. I think we have like a top tier staff. We got best staff again. I think it's best church, best staff. Ethan, I appreciate your passion, but your passion spiritually. Like for a young guy, man, like you are spiritually like tight. And what I mean by that, like you, I know, I don't ever have to worry about where you stand spiritually. And that's just, man, like if I needed somebody to pray for me, like I know that would be you. Like you're just that kind of guy who is a spiritual stalwart. Like, ooh, look at that. But I'm for real. And to be such a young guy, to already have that in your toolbox, man, that's high dollar. That's good. And for you, man, you're like, I just love being a friend with you, man. Like it really is a challenge, I think, a lot of times. I don't know if you have experienced it. It's a challenge a lot of times to have close relationships in ministry.
Oh, 100%.
And that's probably one that most people don't even realize. That's kind of a difficulty, but that's really a difficulty most pastors have. And I just feel blessed, because I like both of you guys. But I've gotten to know Travis over the last 3 or 4 years or whatever, and just our families are similar, our kids, our wives, so just being a friend, like going on vacation together, doing crazy trips to Columbia. Like, I just appreciate you.
We got some
your friendship.
stories.
Yeah,
One time
yeah.
we need to have a podcast.
Oh my goodness!
Where
No.
we talk about
Or
our
maybe
crazy
we don't.
adventures.
Or maybe we don't.
Our next crazy adventure, we just need to film it.
Ah,
And then
there you
put it
go.
out there.
that could be something without a doubt.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys too. You know, Jason, just like you lead by example. Like I know you're never going to ask me to do something you want to go ahead and do first. And just the way that you preach the word faithfully, I've learned a lot how to preach from you. So I really appreciate that. And then Travis, you just lead by example too. Like when you worship, it's not a show. Like your heart for the Lord is evident, and it makes me want to sing more. Whether it's at church, when I listen to songs, I always think like, oh, I wonder if Travis would like this one. But like I really like.
Or he could kill that song.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. or it's like, okay, is this like a good worship song? Like thinking about the words that I'm singing, not just going through the motions. That's something like Travis has really put on my mind and my heart. Like when I'm singing to the Lord, like think about the words that I'm saying. And so that's just been a blessing to me too. So
Yeah, I mean we're so fortunate here because I know you guys have served at different churches and it's rare to have like a friendship and that connection even outside of ministry stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I love Ethan. For one, he's just a great example of what a pastor should be, especially to young adults. And I mean, it's just really cool to see that. I never expected when I was younger to be a 40-year-old, like really looking up to somebody half my age. But like, man, it's true. Yeah. And that's the Holy Spirit.
Sure.
That's the work. That's wisdom from the Lord, right? And so that's just cool, man. But even outside of that, like, we have so many connections, like with basketball and just all this stuff that we can just be friends and have a conversation. And like Jason said earlier, be real.
yeah.
That's what makes this work. It's because we're just real guys, right? Who love the Lord, right? And then like, just like you said, Jason, like, man, it's really rare to have like a best friend in ministry, man. Yeah. And really rare that, your kids are all best friends and your wives are best buddies. And so, man, it's just, when I think about, my position here at First Baptist Kirksville, like, I don't ever want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to go
man.
anywhere?
You don't want to.
Else? Like,
Listen, the grass
keep
is
us
not
here.
greener on
No,
the other
it's
side.
not.
It really isn't. Yeah, it really is. So, we're blessed. This is a great opportunity, great church, great staff. So I love you guys, love our church. So we just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about our thoughts on Pastor Appreciation and tell you guys how awesome you are in honoring us as well. In fact, I think Sarah has a little word about that as well, so check her out.
Thanks, guys. This month is set aside as Pastor Appreciation Month, and we want to thank them. These are some incredible leaders here in our church, and they do such a great job each week encouraging us in our faith walk. If you're a member of this church, we would love to encourage you to encourage these guys, to tell them thank you, to support them, to give them a note or a gift of encouragement. If you don't attend this church, we'd encourage you to reach out to your leaders and your pastors and let them know that you appreciate them. The Lord has just blessed us so greatly here at First Baptist with incredible pastors, and we are thankful for Jason and Travis and Ethan.
And we're back. All right. So now we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit and just talk about the Word, talk about Scripture. We're kind of in this series, Song of Solomon. Jack asked of me last Sunday, actually. He's like, do you ever get nervous or embarrassed when you're preaching some of these things? And I was like, my first reaction, like, no, I mean, so I really haven't. I've really just kind of been encouraged and excited about preaching the text. But then I read chapter 3 and 4, and so maybe not this Sunday, but next Sunday I might be embarrassed as we talk about the honeymoon night. So that's not this Sunday, that's next Sunday. But yeah, so Song of Solomon. First of all, let me just ask you guys, like, you guys are teaching. You teach college, Sunday school, and y'all kind of go through the sermon, right?
Yeah, we do.
And you're doing a young family, young couples life group. So I really wanted to get those kind of ideas. What are like the life groups? What are the small groups? What are your feel from the people in those groups?
I tell you, the college kids are engaged, man. Like, I don't know if it's because this is the stage of life, like you said in verse 7, like, O daughters of Jerusalem, like it's written to them. And so they're holding on to every word because a lot of them are single. A lot of them are looking. And so just hearing what to look for. This last sermon about the right questions to ask. Charles is teaching for me this week, so I'm kind of bummed out on that one. But like they really have, they're tuning in. You know, at first when we decided this is what you were going to preach on, I was wondering like, how engaged? You know, are they going to joke about it? But man, there's a seriousness. There's an eagerness, I think would be the right word. Like they're asking questions, you know, and like by God's grace, like my wife's in there with me on Sunday mornings. And so like we get to use our relationship as an example of like, don't do this, but do this. And just like the girls hearing from Alze's perspective, the guys hearing from mine, like just getting to do like real talk, like guys, mature, grow up, girl. Like this is what you used to look for. Like it's just been a really cool buy-in with that group. So
Yeah,
it's been
and
great.
I'm, you know, with our group, coming from the same fear of like, man, are people going to get engaged? Like this could be awkward, right? Could be some conversations that are kind of weird, but I like the word you used, eagerness.
Yeah.
Like even for young marrieds and young adults, like, man, they're eager to like talk about this stuff. And so it's just been really neat.
And I think just being a part of your, like, so like it's cool. I get to go teach, but then I get to go sit under Travis is like hearing like we all struggle with certain things. Sure. Like like everyone's gonna go through ups and downs in your marriage, and just learning from guys like Travis and Savannah, you know, like, now this is normal, but God gives us the tools to make it better or to enhance it. So I think it's been really good, at least for my marriage, if anything. Like we've really grown a lot in a good way, and it isn't like friction, like, oh, we're getting better, but this is just like, it's been enjoyable. It really has. So I think it's been really good.
And speaking of that, so that again, he addressed those issues too. So like we got the wedding this week, we got the honeymoon the next week, and then the 5th chapter is it's not always happily ever after. Yeah. So like we're gonna get into some problems too that people face. Even in our life group, you know, there has been great discussion. You know, and all you have to do is say the question, and then there's just tons of conversation, tons of talk. So I want to encourage everybody out there. You know, if you're not in a group, you know, get in. This is where the word comes alive, really, in these groups, because you're able to interact with it. You know, if you're in a pew, if you're just sitting listening to a sermon, there's not much interaction. You don't get to say, wait a minute, can you explain that a little bit more? But you get to do that in the groups.
And there's accountability. Like, you know, did you praise your wife this week publicly? Yeah. Or that was the girls. But you know what I'm saying? Like, or every day. You know, like you get to go to your life group and everyone around, like, did you do it?
That's
did
right.
you not do it? You know, so it's been a really good thing of like actually, not like what's James say, don't just be a mere hearer of the word, but a doer of the word. With the life group, or like the Sunday school class, like they help you actually go do it, because you know you're going to come back and get asked, did you do it?
Yeah. So that is encouraging. So I just want to, again, we've got probably about half of our congregation that are not in groups, that are not in these life groups. So again, hopefully you hear the value of that. You're able to take what you hear on a Sunday morning, and then you're also able to interact with it, dive a little bit deeper into it, and like you said as well, have some accountability with that word as well. So get involved in a group is basically what we're saying, right? So this week, again, is an exciting one. We're going to get ready for the wedding, so that's a cool thing to really look at what a great wedding looks like, how to craft a great wedding, and maybe, how about this spoiler? You might even get to watch some video of my wedding. So that'd be kind of cool to say.
Did you have hair then?
Yes, I did.
There we go.
Some. I didn't have.
Not the top.
At the time.
And I was also the ring bearer.
Because you were 4.
What year did you get married?
2000. So.
I was alive for a month.
A month. Oh my gosh. So that's why it's easy to remember how many years we've been married.
That's right. Hey, it's the same thing for my birthday. So
I was 15.
Okay. There you go.
I could have been there.
Driving, got your permit.
Yep.
There you go.
Anyway, so guys, hopefully you'll be a part of this Sunday as well, because it's really getting good now. So I'm excited about Song of Solomon. I love preaching through it, and we're going to keep going as well. All right, well, let's shift gears kind of another time now. If you kind of followed our podcast, this season 2, this is episode 3 for us or whatever. But what we've tried to do is we talk a little bit about church, talk a little bit about the sermon, and then on the third thing we talk about like current events.
Yes.
What are some things that are happening in our culture, or some things happening in our nation that we might want to take note of, especially as Christians. And I came across this article. It's on Al Mohler on the briefing, talked a little bit about this, but NPR, National Public Radio, whatever, did an article, and it's called this: Scientists Create Human Eggs in the Lab Using Skin Cells. And yeah, that's kind of crazy. And then 2 days later, or actually in 6 hours, but they updated it a couple of days later. Within 6 hours, another article from the Washington Post came up, and it says this: robots are learning to make human babies. So within 6 hours, we've got these two, fairly, legit news outlets, Washington Post and NPR, talking about procreation, talking about making babies. But the way that they're talking about it as Christians, we need to take note of, and we need to kind of wrap our mind around. Let me just read a part of this article, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. This comes from the first one: Scientists create human eggs in the lab using skin cells. Scientists have created human eggs containing genes from adult skin cells, a step that could someday help women who are infertile or gay couples have babies with their own genes that would also raise difficult, if ethical, social, and even legal issues. So, my goodness, can you even imagine? So, how should we think through this as Christians?
It's hard because at first you read the headline and you're like, oh man, that's wild, right? That's crazy. That's like, science is awesome that it can do something like that. But like you said, as Christians, like how should we view that? Me personally, I was listening to a different podcast that was discussing this, and the thing that really got my attention was this stuff can open the door for moral failure, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I think that's our initial, like, where we need to stand. Yes, making babies with husband and wife, awesome things.
It's a wonderful
right?
thing.
It's a wonderful,
It's a
awesome,
it's a
biblical
command. It's a commandment. It's a commandment.
It's a biblical thing. But when we go outside of that, whether it be science or, people that aren't married or robots, right? That opens the door for moral failure.
Yeah.
So anything that contradicts our biblical worldview, we really need to take seriously and voice our concern about that.
And I'll be honest, when he first started talking about, because I listened to the same podcast, the briefing that you sent. At first, when he started talking about, they're able to help women have children that can't. I know a lot of Christian couples that love God and they want to raise kids in the Word and make disciples, and they can't. And it just breaks your heart. So at first I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. But then when he starts talking about it can be any skin cell and it could go to any couple with any, and it's like the risk is not, it's not worth the reward.
Yeah.
It's really not. And to me, it gives another tool for the argument of homosexuality and those type that.
They went there.
They went there
At the very first sentence. That's the opening paragraph.
So that's what I'm saying is it's not worth, like you said, the moral fall. And so being Christians, being willing to have those hard conversations, but being willing to stand firm in the truth, like God made kids as a blessing through marriage. Like there's a right way to do it. And
which is kind of what we're looking at in Song of Solomon,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
There's a right way to have relationships. It's one man, one woman, together forever. That's the idea of marriage. And through marriage comes the children.
Yes.
That's God's ordained platform.
We talked about we were talking earlier about this, and we even see in the Bible where having kids outside of marriage can be costly.
It'd be
big,
awful.
Right? Like was it Haggai and
Abraham and Hagar.
Yeah,
Hagar. Still fighting today, right?
Still having those issues of whose land it is, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah, and then or you think of Solomon's mom, Bathsheba.
Yeah.
David went outside of marriage, had her, and ultimately it cost a child, and not just that. God said the sword will never leave your wife, never leave your family.
Yeah.
There's consequences of all these things. A couple of others I just wrote down. Like, first of all, it doesn't even require a woman. Like, they can take my skin cells. I'm a man. They can take my skin cells and create an egg. And in essence, they could even take my skin cells, create an egg, and then use my sperm to fertilize that egg. And I would just be like, that's my baby, my baby, which is just weird. I mean, what in the world? Or another thing, you can use anyone's skin cell. In fact, in that article, they actually said what if you went and got a skin cell from a celebrity? They actually used Taylor Swift. You could go get people dropping skin cells all over the place. And you got a skin cell, and all of a sudden you can create a baby from somebody else who didn't even intend for that to be. Mm-hmm. And of course, the last thing is, like we mentioned, it opens the doors for homosexuality and parenting, which again is just a downfall we need to be careful of. So, not even to think about the ethical ability and how they're even testing this stuff out. Because when you're testing this stuff out,
how many kids are dying? Yeah,
you're creating embryos. You're creating babies, and for testing anyway, there's so many things for us to think through and think about this. So as Christians, we just wanted to mention this. Just
be aware
that things are moving rapidly in our culture today. Yeah. You know, whether it's science, whether it's AI, things are moving rapidly, and if we're not careful, we can get caught off guard, and things can happen and we're not even realizing it. So we as Christians need to be prepared and also be able to find a biblical worldview in order to help those who struggle, in order to help those who are looking for answers, and we need to be able to give that. So anyway, that's just a quick thing. We don't have a whole lot of time to go further than that, but I did want to put that on everybody's radar. Just wanted to tell everybody thanks for watching our podcast. I was telling one of my friends, Troy, he's down in Mississippi, he got to watch our podcast, and he was like, man, yeah, that's fun that you guys get to do that. And I was like, we actually enjoy
love it.
We laugh and we have a good time doing this. So I do want everybody to realize that this is a fun thing for us. We like each other and we love doing this. So keep watching it, subscribe to us, and be here Sunday to watch the wedding take place. See you soon. All right. Thanks, guys.